Well, the state charged him, the jury convicted him, and the judge handed down the sentence, mandatory life without parole.
But that is not the end of the story for Aaron Hernandez.
Taken out of the courtroom now as a convicted killer, Aaron Hernandez then takes the ride to prison. No longer in the county jail, he's now behind bars at the state lockup, Cedar Junction in Walpole, a little more than a mile from Gillette Stadium, where he made his name. And he's still staring at more charges. He's expected to go on trial for a double murder in Boston later this year. Last year, he was accused of the drive-by killing that took place back in the summer of 2012.
The defendant stated to his friend, quote, "I think I got one in the head and one in the chest," end quote.
And he had the same defense lawyers at that arraignment.
We don't ask to be treated differently. Just give us a fair trial.
Evidence for the Boston case was discovered during the Odin Lloyd murder investigation. Prosecutors in Boston claim Hernandez drove up next to two men and opened fire after Hernandez blamed them for spilling a drink at a nightclub. Daniel Abreu and Safiro Furtado were killed. A backseat passenger was also shot.
For us, this case was never about Aaron Hernandez. This case was about two victims who were stalked, ambushed, and senselessly murdered on the streets of the city they called home.
And two more families feeling pain.
Sorry.
They'll go through the same legal process that Odin Lloyd's family has just endured.
He was my strength. I love him dearly.
Odin Lloyd, he worked as a landscaper. His family said he rode his bike 10 miles to work. Aaron Hernandez, of course, the focus of the case, and he's now facing several civil lawsuits as well. There will also be an appeal of his murder conviction, so there's a lot more of Aaron Hernandez in courtrooms to come in.
Yeah, and you can be sure NBC 10 will remain at the forefront of this story. Our coverage of the Hernandez verdict, it continues online on our website. You can read the full jury verdict on turnto10.com. We also posted the victim impact statements. There's also a series of slideshows, tons online at turnto10.com.
It has been a fascinating process going through this trial from beginning to end. Adam, you were there every day, starting with jury selection through the verdict.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting part for me was actually our conversation the other day and just talking to the jurors. Everyone was saying, man, I wish it was a fly on the wall. I wanted to hear what those jurors were deliberating, and we sort of learned that, which was it was also unprecedented that they did a press conference at the end of the trial.
Absolutely. Great job with the exclusive interview. But for now, we've reached our conclusion. Thanks for following our coverage throughout this case. For Adam Bagney, I'm Brian Crandall. Have a good night.